One of my favorite kinds of indoor food growing is actually sprouting. When I was initially studying organic gardening, that was about the same time that I was also getting interested in my own health and nutrition and healthy eating. And I began sprouting, and I've been doing it ever since then. I do it year round, but it's especially nice in the winter when you don't have anything fresh coming from the garden. So today I'm going to show you how to sprout. It's really easy, really fast. It's going to save you a lot of money over buying sprouts from the grocery store. And it's just really fun to see. You can watch how a seed, becomes a sprout and becomes a little plant. So here I have some alfalfa sprouts, and here I have some red clover sprouts. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. So the first thing you need is your seeds. And you can buy them at many grocery stores in these little seed packets. But it gets pretty expensive. I buy mine online at Mum's, and I get 1 kilogram bags. And I think, I mostly buy alfalfa and red clover for sprouting. I think they're maybe around $10, $11, something like that for a bag. So it's a lot better deal than the grocery store stuff. And it's just good organic certified seed. I like alfalfa and clover because they're really easy to grow. You can use them in a lot of different kinds of dishes in the kitchen. And they're really healthy, really nutritious. So that's what I do for that, Mum's seeds. And then you need a container. Any kind of container will do. A lot of people would use a mason jar, but any kind of glass or bowl, anything is fine. I ended up doing this so often that I use these little containers, which are called Easy Sprout containers. And I think they're $15 or $20. And they just make the process a little bit faster, which is good because I usually have about 3 of these going a day. And so it just makes the rinsing process that I'm going to show you later a little bit faster. But I'll show you how to do it in a mason jar today. So you start with 1 to 2 tablespoons of your seeds. I usually do at least 2 tablespoons. They say 1 to 2 though. And then you want to soak those in water. I usually put about a cup of water in there, just really so that they're all nice and covered. Now for bonus points, it's nice if you can get some minerals in there because when the seed sprouts, it might want to have access to some minerals, and then those minerals get into the sprout, and then it makes it better for you. So a lot of people use liquid kelp for that. I tend to use a sea minerals, but either is fine. And I just tend to do a ratio of 1 to 250 parts water. So if I have a cup of water in there, I just need like a milliliter or a 1/4 teaspoon of the sea minerals in there. It's really concentrated stuff, and I wouldn't want to put too much in there. So I guess I should stir that around and make sure the sea minerals gets mixed in, and make sure the sprouts, sometimes some of the seeds will float, so you just want to make sure they're good. So now I will soak this for 4 to 6 hours. I have many times forgotten it overnight so that it ends up soaking for 12 or 18 hours, and it's not the end of the world, but technically 4 to 6 hours is good. So then it's time to drain it. Let's pretend that we've done the 4 to 6 hours and we're going to drain it. You can just drain it through your fingers and it works fine, but you'll find in the long run that a piece of cheesecloth is really helpful. So that's cheesecloth. And I'm going to put it over here. I always cut it just a little small. So just with the rubber band, let's put it over there. And my soaking time, let's say that's up. So I'll put it into my little sink here. So just drain it out. Now the reason this cheesecloth comes in handy is after I drain it, and when I'm draining it, I'm going to do a lot of kind of shaking around to help get all the water out. Sometimes even get a fork in there and really help make sure all the water gets out. I'm not going to fuss about it for the video, but I just want to make sure that they don't stay too soaking wet. Then what I do is just leave it on an angle like this over something where it can drain out. So over whatever you have that can drain out, such as a nice little plastic container like this. And it'll just slowly drain over the next few hours. And then it's not sitting in water. So that is that. The nice thing about the Easy Sprout, which again you really don't need, but is the sprouts go in, the seeds go in a container like this. And when it's time to drain, you know, you put your water in, you take this out, it all drains into here, you dump it, put it back, and then it can just sit and drain, you know, for the next couple hours. It'll slowly drain a little bit of water, and then you can just dump that water out. It just makes the whole process really easy. So you don't need to start with one of these, but if you end up liking to use a lot of sprouts, you might want to get one, or you might not. Okay, so what's next? So then maintenance. An important step is every day to go in and rinse the sprouts. So I only do it once a day. If you live in a hot climate, you might need to do it twice a day. But that's just putting more water in, swirling it around, draining it out. After a couple of days of doing this, really even after one day, you're going to start to see a little tail coming out of each of the seeds. And then after a couple of days, you can move it more into some light. Maybe not like direct hot sun, but into the light. Now, technically, they say to do this the first couple days in the dark, which makes sense because a seed in the ground would be in the dark for the first couple of days until it emerges. I found you really don't need to do that, but certainly you do want to, after a couple of days, put it somewhere where it's going to get some light, and then over the next, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, they're going to green up and they're going to look like that. These have been probably going for, they're getting pretty long now, so probably like 6 days. You can really start eating them after probably 3 or 4 days from when you started. And that's that. So what do we have to do? We soak the seeds, drain them, rinse them every day, put them into the light so they green up, and I think that's about it. Then you can use them. So I use them in the occasional sandwich I have, but especially in salads and smoothies, and it usually takes me maybe a few days, Heather and I, maybe a few days to eat a container full, so a couple tablespoons. So really, probably every 3 days, I'm starting a different container so that I always have some that are maturing. And then I just leave them out. Now, if you were eating them really slowly, you might find they get to a certain point where you want to put them in the fridge in a container, that like this, that allows it to keep draining so they don't stay wet. And then they should last at least a week in the fridge. But we usually just leave them out and we're done eating them before they start to go bad or anything like that.